Tensions are running high on Capitol Hill. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy warning the GOP may consider launching an impeachment inquiry into President Biden as early as next month, saying it all depends on whether or not the Biden family is willing to cooperate with the investigation. Newsmax congressional correspondent Kilmeny Duchardt is on Capitol Hill with the latest for us. Kilmeny?
A number of House Republicans have publicly indicated they do not want to delay on this when they return from recess in September. That includes members on the House Oversight Committee who believe that they already have enough evidence to begin these proceedings. That includes Florida Congressman Byron Donalds. He says Vice President Biden used his power to influence Ukrainian policy. That's a public corruption pay-to-play scandal and is illegal. We'll see several impeachment inquiry hearings, and if evidence continues to speak for itself in impeachment, we're doing this the right way, unlike Pelosi. Republicans want Biden family members to voluntarily turn over bank records and credit card statements to House committees, but have not specified who they're seeking cooperation from. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has indicated a failure to do so would trigger an inquiry. Oversight Democrats have already rejected that idea, saying, why are Republicans threatening an impeachment inquiry over documents they never requested? Because they've gotten all the documents they requested, but their wild goose chase has yielded no evidence of wrongdoing by President Biden. To be clear, an impeachment inquiry would be very different from a vote to impeach President Biden. It would give Republicans greater investigative power. But if an inquiry does not lead to a vote on impeachment, Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert is threatening to force a vote on the House floor, a move that some moderates feel is too premature, given the fact that it would need 2/3 of a majority of the Senate to convict.
Kilmeny, thank you for that report. For more on this, let's bring in former Georgia Congressman and Clinton impeachment manager, Bob Barr. Congressman, it's great to have you with us tonight.
A real pleasure, and I really enjoyed your earlier comments. They were spot on.
Thank you, Congressman. Appreciate that. Now, the DOJ prosecutor, Matthew Graves, who allegedly refuses to charge Hunter for failing to pay his taxes, actually made his career by going after financial crimes and corruption. So what's your thoughts on this?
My thoughts on this are both the prosecution of Hunter Biden for alleged financial crimes and an inquiry of impeachment with regard to his father, not just for the Hunter Biden aspects of Joe Biden's shenanigans, but other issues as well. Both of those are long overdue. And while the House committees can't directly prosecute Hunter Biden, they certainly can indirectly affect that prosecution through the appropriations process and through the Oversight Committee.
You know, Congressman, isn't it true that the larger tax violations have already run on the statute of limitations, so they can't even charge him anymore with, and they investigated him for 5 years, if I'm correct, 4.5 years, but they went on so long they can't charge him with the felony tax violations. Isn't that true?
That would be true with regard to the allegations about which we know. The thing that intrigues me is there is so much smoke here that I suspect that the pattern of behavior that we've seen with Hunter Biden over those years in which the tax prosecutions, the statute may already have run, indicate to me that it's unlikely that he all of a sudden changed his ways. So I think there's still plenty there that we don't know all the details about that very well could reveal other financial crimes. And if his father was involved in some sort of cover-up, then that would add fuel to the impeachment inquiry fire.
Well, then there's also the gun charge, which, if my understanding is, pretty soon the statute of limitations is going to run on that. So it just seems that the Democrats here are running out the clock, that they put in a prosecutor that they know is going to just do what he has to do to protect the Biden crime family. That's how I see it. What about you?
It's exactly how I see it. But of course, the person responsible for these lapses is the Attorney General himself, Merrick Garland. So while he may appoint an independent counsel, he may talk about a U.S. attorney prosecuting or not prosecuting something, the the buck stopped with Merrick Garland, and he is an attorney general that not only has been asleep at the switch, but deliberately ignorant about these crimes going on around him.
Well, let me ask you this, Congressman. You say ignorant, but isn't this really just turning a blind eye to protect the corrupt president? And at the same time, what you're really doing here is you're taking the heart out of the integrity of our system of justice, and you're putting in the minds of the average American people the idea that they can't trust their own government. And isn't that the bigger issue long beyond when Joe Biden and Hunter Biden are forgotten about in our history? What separates the United States has always been our foundation is our system of justice, that everyone is held accountable equally under the law. That's all being eroded when we see things like this. On one side, they're going after the former president of the United States in every possible way they can, making up law if they have to. But on this side, they're protecting the Biden crime family at all costs. But the real cost is the faith of the American people.
It is, and it's a very short-sighted. What the administration is doing is very short-sighted by protecting the Bidens, because in protecting the Bidens and protecting others like Fauci from prosecution, they are indeed protecting them, but they are also undermining the public's faith in our system of justice. And the public having faith in our system of justice, the public having confidence in the FBI and the other agencies of the federal government that are involved in law enforcement is essential for the federal government to be able to prosecute many of these crimes. They rely on the public coming forward with information, and the public is not going to do it. I know this from my own service as a U.S. attorney, if they don't believe that the system will treat that information fairly. That you put your finger on the most serious long-term aspect of this problem.
Congressman, you articulated that perfectly. As a retired FBI agent, I can tell you we relied on the general public for information to solve crimes more than anything else. Okay, all the techniques that we had at our disposal, we still needed witnesses. We needed people to come forward, and we needed people to have faith that we would be able to do our jobs, keep them safe, and handle their information with integrity. Thank you very much, Congressman Bob Barr. We appreciate you being with us.
My pleasure.